Hello everyone around the world. Welcome to Camel's Premier Racing League Season 30, Season XXX. It is the sexiest season of all. We're about to get some unfiltered, uncut, uncensored, raw, hot action. No, I'm just kidding. We're just seeing cars go around in a circuit. But these are just any cars for Season 30. A lot of the drivers here in Camel Premier Racing League have been wanting the Road D class cars, and everyone finally voted for them. And out of those Road D class cars, they have chosen the Caterham. Yes, this thing is absolutely beautiful to look at and absolutely fun to drive. It is a rear wheel vehicle with about 300 horsepower, so all that going to the rear wheels, which is right above the driver. So those front tires are way up there. The rear tires are going to be wider than the fronts and bigger as well. So if you enjoyed watching the RS 1600s last season, you're going to enjoy these as well, because they're going to get slippy and slidey all over the place. No rain today, but it's going to be some good stuff. Take a look at the qualifying results. Will Fazer grabbing the pole position from Camel in one space. Very, very close between the top three here. Now let's see if Will Fazer can keep that momentum going into the race, or if that's just his qualifying trim. Then we have J Mutt, Spoon, Jacob Potts, Hannibal, Road King, and Big Ton, your top 10. And then Old Bear and Texas Rooster. More people still missing. Big names are DJ Vixen, 6 Foot Dragon, and a couple others that are missing as well, but those are the two that we know for a fact will be out for a couple of weeks. So we hope to see them back here shortly. 1 hour and 20 minutes for tonight's race. Only a single event here at Imola. I am William the Zebra Alcala. I did not say that, but yes, I am William the Zebra Alcala, bringing you live coverage here at Imola for Camel's Premier Racing League Season 30. It's going to be an exciting time. Let's see how the top drivers will deal with this type of car. Looks like Will Fazer, again, fastest by almost half a tenth, which is pretty dominant over Camel. Can Camel's reign be topped by a new driver, as it was thwarted from J Mutt at Texas Motor Speedway last week due to Project Car's oval glitching up? Had a big wreck, but just planted him in the ground and he couldn't go anywhere. Other than that, he may have gotten the win. He may have won the season. But that could all change. New car, different tracks. Let's get it started. As we're waiting, we're going to be right back for Green Flag Racing. Alright, so we'll be getting a new room here coming up. Will Phaser glitched out, so we're going to make a new room. Please stand by. We don't have any fancy graphics or music here tonight. It was running a little bit behind, so it will just well, just get the ambiance of Project Cars 2 the game. So we'll be right back. All right, so we'll be doing a rolling start here as the field gets all set up and ready to go. And once we get that figured out, we'll be going over the starting order for tonight's season 30 opener. So we are just going to wait a little bit. They should be, everything should be all lined up by the time they get to the top of the hill. So please just continue to stand by. 12 cars lining up here tonight. Actual green flag racing is going to be a little less than an hour and 20, going to be about an hour and 15 minutes as it takes to do this full pace lap, but still nonetheless, it's going to be some good racing here. Only 27 leaders that can be entered at a time. And with this rolling start, it may benefit or put some drivers at a risk with the 5 minutes. Who is to say? All right, looks like we have everyone all in order as they're starting to reach the top of the hill. So let's go over the starting grid for tonight's race. It's going to be Will Fazer taking pole position. Camel's going to be in second, one space in third. J-Mutt in fourth. Spoon 951 will be taking the fifth position. Jacob D48 starting sixth. Potvin Suck starting seventh. So he got relegated down to Group B. And one space getting promoted back up to Group A. Hannibal Moore. He's going to be looking to stay strong in Group A. A lot of strong people up in Group A. Group A consists of Will Fazer, Camel, one space J-Mutt, and Hannibal. Very top tier names indeed. Down here you have Road King 17 starting 9th, Big Ton 13 will be rounding out your top 10. Then we have Old Bear in 11th, and then Texas Rooster rounding out field for tonight as they make their way down the hill. Obviously Imola, very historic track. Unfortunately most remembered for the unfortunate event where Formula One legend Ayrton Senna passed away while racing back in 1994, I believe it was. But when we race here, we remember his legacy. As we're getting ready to go green flag racing, 1 hour and 17 minutes. And we're rolling green flag. Will Fazer's going to be getting a good jump as we have cars spreading out 2-3 wide. Where we have a car in the grass in the back as it's going to be single file through the top 5. Oh, big contact. I don't know who that is in the green car. That's going to be Spoon off. I don't know if he's got any damage, but got popped pretty high up in the air actually. Already top 4 splitting amongst the rest of the field. Potts and Jacob getting separated pretty quick. Camel work is janky. I do apologize. So we're right on board with the leaders up here. This battle for 3rd and 4th. J-Mutt trying to get the pass done around the outside and gets it done past one space. Will Fazer taking a big commanding lead thus far, over 1.5 seconds. And all the way in the back, this track is tricky. It's got a lot of elevation, which you'll love to see. I'm fairly certain they have track limits off. Remember racing here some seasons ago, and I think they deemed as long as you stay on the green turf, you're fine. But if you extend that, that's gonna be what causes the penalty. Back up here, let's ride on board. Actually, no, side by side, one space in J-Mutt. These two left-handers are tricky as you're braking downhill. The car wants to carry more momentum into the corners than it wants to, so you have to be careful. J-Mutt changing lines immediately, trying to break the draft. And already Will Fazer taking a liking to this car. It seems already almost a 3-second lead over Camel, and all the way in the back as well. Top 3 looking really racy. One space missing his braking point. I'm going to push a little wide through the chicanes there. Just slide the car around. Just let it catch naturally as we kind of do a quick on board with one space. You can see the movement of the wheels, a lot of counter steering going on. Trying to maximize as much as possible. We gotta watch out though, especially down this hill. That left-hander can really catch some drivers out. But while we're watching a lap around with one space around Imola, we're also watching the battle up front as well between J-Mud and Camel. Then this very tough chicane, really tough on the suspension. I mean, you saw the suspension travel in those front wheels. You gotta have pretty soft suspension for this track. You're gonna need it. You're gonna be using the rumble strips a lot. Oh, but up here, J-Mud putting the pressure on Camel. Plenty of battling all over the place. Second and third, fifth and sixth, and eighth and ninth. Top three ran a nearly identical laps, especially between Camel and Will Phaser. Oh, big contact! That's going to be Jacob and Potts hard into the wall. I don't know what happened there. Whoever was, it could have been just one person just had more momentum and just couldn't stop himself or something. Wow, big wreck by the two drivers, Jacob and Potts. That's going to put him down big time. Texas Rooster now up to P10. Maybe even make it ninth, depending on how bad damage that Jacob has. Both of them crashed pretty dang hard into the wall there. There's Potts with one headlight. Looks like he's having trouble keeping that car straight. He may have gotten the big chunk of it all, actually. All right, back up front now. Second and third. I see J-Mud just sliding the car around. Beautiful. Will Phaser sent a fast lap, 150.8, 3 seconds ahead of second and third now, as this is our only battle on track. J-Mud getting a great run going up the hill. He's looking. Oh, he got a tighter line through there and a better run. But these two right-handers, not a place to pass really. J-Mud getting a little bit too squirrely around there, able to still keep it up. If anything, this is a pretty solid passing point, depending on how brave and how desperate you are. Potts is in the pits. Looks like Jacob didn't get much damage at all. Can use a little bit of bump and run techniques within these cars. J-Mud getting a better run off the chicane. He's going to try around the outside going downhill. He has a position, getting a little bit squirrely on the rumple strips, giving Camel plenty of space around the double left-handers there. Great racing by these two. Old Bear battling with Jacob still, getting around him. It looks like Old Bear is trying to check out, already about 3/4 tenths. Trying to pull ahead from Jacob down in 8th and 9th. Hannibal and Spoon seem to have some battling going on there for a bit. Spoon having a nice recovery early on after he got popped by someone going into the first set of chicanes. Up to 6th right now. Oh, one space hard off into the wall, pulled a Carlos Sainz. Russia this Sunday just crashing hard into the wall. That's going to put him down a little bit depending on how bad the damage is. Still has a good 7-second gap over Hannibal and Spoon. J-Mutt getting around Camel as we were talking about one space's wreck. Let's go back down here, 5th and 6th. Spoon and Hannibal getting feisty. Spoon really wants to dive it in there. You can see it. It's right on board with him. It really throw the car in there. You hear the tires squealing and everything. Looks like they're going to lose it, but those cars seem to be pretty tight. Spoon going to try to make the move. Oh, he dives it in there deep, having to press a little bit harder on the brakes than he wants it to. He's going to try to look. Try to carry momentum around the outside. Gets a little bit loose though. One space into the pits. He's going to be getting his damage fixed. Spoon's going to move to the outside now. It's a drag race down the front stretch. Doing a little bit of zigging and zagging. Spoon running a 152.2. Now has a position. Hannibal's going to yield to it. Actually, no. Spoon pushing way wide, completely missing his braking point, and he's going to have to catch all the way back up to Hannibal. Unfortunate there. This carry just completely misses braking point. That is unfortunate. One space is going to be dropping some positions all the way back to 12th. Actually, no, he just gets out ahead of Potts. And he's going to have fuel for a good while now. Pretty much another 1.5 stints, actually. Oh no, one space still in the... Oh, Potts is all the way... I'm sorry. Potts is all the way back here. That is my bad. Yeah, he's right there. I thought he was with Big Ton. I do apologize for that. Now one space is just getting out. Texas Rooster and Big Ton having to go. Let's actually take a look at that. That battle's pretty close. Looks like Big Tongue just getting the better run, being a little bit more smoother than Texas is, so he's able to pull away. That battle is pretty much done and over with. Camel trying to chase down J-Mutt. These two have actually caught up to Will Fazer. By about a second or so as Camel runs way wide. Oh, J-Mutt getting a little bit wobbly, getting wide off with the chicane there. Saves it and still in front of Camel, but Camel's going to have the run going down the hill. Jacob getting past Road King there. Looks like Road King had an off. Jacob now moving up to 6th. Camel right on the rear bumper of J-Mutt. Trying to utilize every little bit of draft that he can side by side going into the first chicane. Two drivers playing chicken. Camel ultimately won. You saw J-Mutt getting a little bit squirrely going into turn 1. I see Camel taking a little bit too much curb there, trying to get that extra rotation so he can slide all the way out. But instead disrupted his car just a little bit, which allowed J-Mutt to close the door in just a smidge. J-Mutt gets such a good run around that left-hander downhill. Utilizing every part of the track. Those are big sausage curves, but these Caterhams seem to be dealing with them quite well. Oh, go! A little bit of contact from J-Mutt. He really carried a lot more momentum than I'm sure he thought he did. A little bit of bumping. Doesn't seem to have done any damage to any driver. Didn't seem to upset Camel all that much. Almost going to 150 there. Oh my gosh, that movement of the braking is very, very scary to watch. It could be due to his brake bias, actually. Might have too much, his brake bias percentage might be a little bit too much to the rear. If you have too much to the rear rear will kind of swivel on you while you're braking. So you kind of want it to be a little bit more front heavy than rear. You never want to put more brakes in the rear than the front because the car will get really loose and just snap on you while braking. So we kind of wanted to have it, you know, about, some cars do require 50-50, but I think this car probably may have about maybe 55 to 57 brake bias to the front. Something like that, that's my guess. Jacob setting the same times as Hannibal and Spoon for 4th and 5th, so if those three can get together, they're going to have a great battle. Just like how these two are having a great battle. Camel running a 150.8, J-Mutt running a 150.9, Will Phaser slowing down a bit, 151.23, as they're just about within that 2-second mark. How much fuel do they have? Will Phaser got 9.2, 9.2, 9.5, so not much difference. Last season, a lot of fuel saving was needed This season, I don't think it's going to be that important. Maybe at some tracks it will. Oh, J-Mug getting a little bit loose there. I don't know what happened with that. He just started he just over-rotated or something. Oh, that was odd. I didn't see him like hit any curbs or anything. That was really weird. Now he's got to catch all the way back up. Camel slowly, very slowly catching up to Will Phaser up in first. So we have under an hour to go, 58.5 minutes. Take a look at the timing charts to see who has which fastest lap. And so far, it's actually the Camel just by 3/100ths of a second. 150.847 to Will Phaser's 150.873. Let's go down here. This is one space overtaking Texas Rooster. No problem on the inside. And he's going to be back up into 10th. Setting 152s so far, going about the same speed as Jama. Jama had a little bit of a off. I think you just try to just whip it in there and just over whipped it. Now let's watch Spoon. He ran almost a second quicker than Hannibal last lap, so he's a good less than 5 seconds under or behind Hannibal. He's slowly catching up. Now he's within 4.5 seconds. Spoon did not get through that chicane the way he wanted it to, though. Hannibal Moore in the pits. Looks like he's going to try to do a big undercut here. And he's off. And Jacob's going to be getting past Hannibal, but he's going to have to be coming into pits shortly in a couple laps' time. Let's see what these three cars do. They're coming up on some lap traffic. Going down here, Hannibal and Old Bear having at it. Will Phaser going into the pits. He's going to be making the first move. Jama going into the pits, but he got nabbed with a speeding penalty. That's going to be 10 seconds added onto his time. Side by side for 6th and 7th. Old Bear taking the longer way around but carrying more speed. Hannibal taking the shorter way around but using less speed. Looks like Old Bear able to get more out of it. I'm sure Hannibal Moore would really like to have Old Bear let him on by. So this is the time for Camel to really set a fast lap or two. Old Bear's gonna run wide there. Hannibal's gonna take the spot. So Will Phaser's out. That's gonna be the time for Camel to set a. He can stay out for another lap actually. So he's actually really gonna push it to try to gain as much separation, try to make up those 2 seconds that he was down. J-Mutt still coming out ahead in third of Spoon. And he's gonna have to pit. These battles that you see on screen, they're going to, they're not, I mean, they are for position, but not entirely. Drivers like Hannibal and J-Mutt, they have just pitted. The people that they were battling with did not pit. Now is Camel going to go in or is he going to stay up for another lap? No, he's going to come in. He's got to be careful to not speed, and looks like he got that under control, no problem. So let's ride on board with Will Phaser. He's 31 seconds behind at time of pit entry for the Camel, so let's see if he can make that up. He's got to stay safe. He's got to stay smooth and fast. That 10-second penalty is going to hurt J-Mutt. Potentially. These three are pretty far ahead. Camel is out of the pits. Will Phaser, he's going full speed. Camel's just slowly coming out. Will Phaser, I think, is just barely going to get out ahead of Camel. There's Camel in the back, and did that help once the graphics come up? Well, Will Phaser actually got the undercut, gained about a second or so from Camel. Good for him. J-Mutt, however, lost time. Actually, no, he gained a couple. He gained a second or two from Camel, actually. Spoon going into the pits now. Will Phaser setting a fast sector 1, Road King. And Old Bear going into the pits. There's one space. He's going to pick up a couple of positions. He's going to pass Spoon as well. That's going to put him up to 6th. And Big Ton, he's going to like to stay out another lap. Texas Rooster can stay out another lap if he wants to. Let's see if he does, and he will. There's a pit entrance. Off to his right, our left, viewing the camera, and he's going to pick up a couple of positions, up to 9th. Yeah, you can stay out for a little bit. So it looks like everyone has kind of slotted into their own groove. J-Mutt, the only driver with a penalty. Jacob just now going into the pits. I should put Hannibal back up to 4th. Let's fill his one space half. One space is 19, so he's going to be, I guess, a half stint ahead. Maybe. Right, because he had a pit early. I think that's how that works. He's not behind, he's ahead. Sometimes that can put him behind. So there's a pretty solid chance that it could be an all Group A lockout in the top 5. I don't think we've seen that in a while. Got to dig into the archives for that one, that's for sure. Is Texas Rooster going to come in and pit? Yes, he will. So Jacob, Big Ton, and Texas Rooster all making their first pit stops of the race as the sun is beginning to shine and rise on up. Which means that the track's only going to get hotter and hotter, and it's going to get more slicker and slicker with those tires. Camel had an off somewhere, lost a second or so, now 4 seconds behind. And he's got lap traffic he's got to deal with. Let's go up here. This is Jacob and Road King. This is for position, but he does have a leader. That's going to be Will Phaser behind him, lurking. The guy has to be careful with that. Because they do have a blue flag rule. There's Camel in the background getting past a lap car. That's going to be, I think that's going to be Old Bear actually. Yep. It's going to be Old Bear letting Camel on by. Jacob going into the grass, pushing wide. He's going to lose all traction coming back onto the track now. He will have to yield to Will Phaser. He's just going to lay off the throttle for a little bit and let him on by. And he's going to use Will Phaser potentially as a pick to gain back control of that battle. He just happened to push wide a little bit. Jacob over braking there. That's going to put him even farther and farther behind. This is Road King's best opportunity to actually let Will Phaser on by. Road King setting his fastest lap, 1:55.080, and he's going to let Will Phaser on by, no problem. J-Mud getting past Old Bear in the back. Jacob caught right back up to Road King there, but the Camel again lurking in the back of them now. Oh, Road King hitting hard on the sausage curves, completely jumping it. Here comes Jacob. So they go side by side. Camel right behind him. Camel's gonna have to wait for the straightaway to let him go. Jacob's gonna move up in front and in ahead. Let's see if he can keep the car on the track this time. He does. Sure, Road King's telling Camel, like, I'm going to let you go off the straight. Roking having 2 cars to use as draft. Oh, Roking diving away on the inside. Definitely cut the corner, and he's going to give the position back up to Jacob. Almost ramming Camel right off the road. Had a lot of momentum carrying for him. That's going to be J-Mud in the back. They're going to deal with another lap car, and they're going to be good for a little bit. Battle between 9th and 10th with Old Bear and Potts. Wolf Phaser now out to a 6-second lead, 6.5-second lead. Drop on back here. Potts and Old Bear battling it out. Potts had an unlucky crash with Jacob earlier in the race. Overall, just last season just didn't go his way, getting relegated back down to Group B. DJ will be missing a good majority of the season. Chances are he'll actually be relegated down to Group C as well, so Group B drivers are safe and clear of that matter. Spoon up in Group B, I believe. He's going to try to make the transition up to Group A. He has Potts to really beat, and Jacob as well. He has Potts and Jacob to beat. So 3-car battle in Group B. That's going to be fun to watch. Everyone else in Group C or A. It's Road King in Group B. I don't know. Pot's still holding off One Bear. Want to jump up here. Let's see how Road King is handling. He had to let J-Mud on by. Let's see if he can use Jacob slowing down. And looks like he is. Jacob had to slow way down through the chicane there, and that's going to allow Road King to get right back up on the rear bumper of Jacob. Who's going to get the run? A little bit of over and under action perhaps. Road King taking a little bit wider line, trying to keep that momentum around the outside while going up the hill. Pot's falling behind a little bit. Big Ton in the pits. Oh, Jacob hard into the wall there. There goes his roof, or his hood. Well, it showed up on the screen. There it is. Okay, yeah, it's the very front cover of it. You can see the radiator now. The Caterham 7 logo is gone. Big hard hit from him. Don't know if that's going to affect his steering or suspension at all. It's actually right. Let's right in his cockpit. Let's see if there's any. Well, looks like he's keeping it pretty straight. Pushing a little bit. He may have some front downforce. Oh, yep, getting smack hard into the wall and spinning. Trying to get that car turned right back around. Potts is going to go in and scoot on by him. Man, Jacob looking really strong there, but unfortunate. And there goes Old Bear, going to pass right by him. So Jacob's going to try to limp that back home to the pits, I'm sure. But in the meantime, since there's no more battles on the track, let's go on board with our halftime lap with the leader. Enjoy. All right, we watched a couple laps around with Will Phaser as he's making his way through lap traffic. Camel has already decided to pit, it seems. I had to step away for a little bit, but Will Phaser continuing to lead now. Has over a 1 minute gap. He's definitely got a comfortable lead, so I don't know if Camel had an off somewhere. I do apologize if we missed it. Like I said, I had to step away for a little bit longer, but 29 minutes left in the race. People nice and spread out as people are, looks like, getting ready to make their, what could potentially be their final pit stops of the night. Hannibal has a nice 20-second gap over Spoon, 1 space, deciding to pit. He could potentially go the rest of the way. He may have to do a splash and dash, but he's definitely looking to get in that top 5 to get that Group A top 5 lockout. And that's going to be really fun. And Will Phaser now going into the pits. He's definitely going to have at least a 25-second lead over Camel coming out. And 1 space is right within that kind of window where he should be able to get out in front of Spoon. Spoon's going to be pitting in about 2 to 3 laps time. But he's getting a little squirrely on the curbs there. Let's see, where's Camel and all? Oh, Camel collecting with the lap car. Who was that? That was Big Ton. Must have been some miscommunication there. Going into the tight chicane. Hard hit by Camel. Let's see if he has to go into the pits and get some damage fixed. He should still be able to scrape away with a second. Alright, looks like he doesn't deem that damage to be that bad, but looks like these pit stops a little bit longer, but I think they had to take tires. I think last pit stop they just took fuel because the track was still relatively cool. But it's starting to heat up here a little bit. So definitely could have closed that in with about between 10 to 14 seconds, I think, but he's going to have to deal with 16 seconds, but big crash. Doesn't seem that Camel's got any damage. I guess we'll see on this long straightaway, because I don't know if he's drifting to the right or not. Let's see. Actually, better yet, we'll see if we can't find his live feed here. You guys won't be able to see it, but I will. Looks like he got away with some damage scot-free. That's impressive. Don't know if he has any... Well, he does have a little bit of right front suspension damage. As far as front damage, it's kind of hard to tell, unfortunately. You can't really see all that much. But he does have a little bit of damage on him, unfortunately. With less than 25 minutes to go, let's go through the field Hannibal making his pit stop. Let's go ahead and go through the field. See where everyone's at. Big Ton, after having a big collision with Camel there, he's seen himself in 12th and almost a full lap behind Texas Rooster, who I think is like the next car behind him. I'm sorry, he's actually already been lapped by Texas Rooster. Texas Rooster showing pretty solid runs throughout the day, kind of been hovering around, you know, kind of swapping between 9th and 11th place. So as long as he can kind of keep his momentum going, he could eke out a top 10. But Old Bear, he's got plenty of fuel, so Texas will have to pit for one last time in the next coming laps. Jacob not been having the best of luck. That car has just been all over the place. But still in third place and still still in ninth place. I don't know why I said third. Still in ninth place and still on the attack of Road King, actually. Still on the attack of Road King. Still. These guys still can't get away from each other. Road King definitely looked like, I mean, the top 5 here, they just been spot on all race. And if this is what we can see more of, top 5 is going to be like a win for the rest of these guys. These Group A guys and Spoon really have a good handle on it. So it's going to be interesting to see what we can expect from the rest of the field. As we'll go through the rest of the field here. Actually, we'll still continue. The battle isn't that close yet. Potts had some unfortunate luck early on in the race, but turning it around. He's in 7th, and I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the end. Should be close. See how well he plays it off. Hannibal's been hovering around that top 5 spot, 4th even, it seems, as he gets a little bit sideways, gets spun all the way around. That chicane catching a lot of drivers out. He's going to get it going. That's not going to help his cause for trying to get in front of Spoon. One space having a big off at the beginning of the race. But he's trying to salvage himself a top 5, maybe even 4th position. Potentially. Hannibal Moore. Is he going to be able to get in front of Spoon? I think so. It's going to be close. Question is, will he have enough fuel to make it to the end? Spoon definitely will, and Spoon actually is going to get out just in front of Hannibal. But Hannibal's going to have more speed going in turn 1 and 2, so he's going to get that position. That is for battle, or that is for position on track now that the pit stops are all said and done. So Road King, Jacob battling for 8th and 9th, and Spoon and Hannibal battling for 5th and 6th, but we're going to keep an eye on this battle. Spoon getting loose. Oh, I thought I was going to save that and drift around the corner. That would have been amazing. Spoon losing a lot of momentum. Oh, that would have been cool to see. Jacob getting around Road King. That's going to put Hannibal up in the 5th. Question is, can he have enough fuel to make it to the end for Group A lockout top 5? One space should have enough. Ooh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Camel with a big cut there. I saw that. They're still making through lap traffic. Let's just follow Hannibal around. But we're going to keep an eye out on his fuel consumption here. So just going underneath that white bridge before this left-hander going uphill, he was at 16 liters. So let's see let's see how much fuel it takes him to complete a full lap as we have 18.5 minutes to go. Looks like the 10-second penalty for J-Mud, that's not going to affect him all that much, as one space is a good hefty minute and 10 seconds behind him. Only 3 cars on the lead lap right now. Wolfhazer, Camel, and J-Mutt. That is just insane. Hannibal with his fastest lap, 153.214. Good for him. Hannibal getting really loose, getting really sideways. So is Camel. It's really whipping it around. So it looks like he's getting about 2 liters a lap. That's going to be Camel getting the blue flag, or Hannibal getting the blue flag for Camel. And Hannibal able to put some space on Spoon, so he's going to be able to slow down, give Camel some space. Yeah, he's going to... Oh, I thought he was going to give him the room through the chicane. I guess not. I think now he is, though. I think now he's going to give Camel the space. Yeah, he's going to lift off just a little bit. Yeah, he's going to give Camel the space. And he's actually going to drop into the toe. So he's about... Ooh, he's going to be a couple laps short. I think all these people, they're going to be about a couple laps short, actually. Wolfhazer. Huh. Wolfhazer took more fuel. 27's allowed. Unless he had some extra over the course and that just belt or kind of built up in his tank. Wolfface is definitely gonna have enough. Will Camel have enough? Like Wolffish got a big enough lead that it was like 10 seconds to go. He can really slow down and like roll across the finish line. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Just 13 minutes to go. Not much going on. The closest thing that we have to battle is Hannibal and Spoon. Spoon's going to try to get in that top 5. He's going to have plenty of fuel. Hannibal, still unsure. Probably not, actually. So Spoon might be able to walk away with the top 5 here. Hannibal Moore still riding on the rear of Camel, but also navigating through lap traffic. I think Hannibal's going to try to stay in the draft as long as possible to try to save fuel on the straightaway. It's going to be close. See if it can be done or not. Take a look at the timings. Wolfphaser with the fastest lap now, 150.2, almost in the 149s. That's pretty dang quick over Camel and J-Mutt. It's going to be your top 3, the only other 3 drivers to run in the 150s. One space next quickest with the 151.798. Spoon looking quick as well, 152.2. It's definitely going to get the fastest lap in Group B, as his only other opponents are Potts and Jacob, I believe. Don't know if Road King's in there or not. Just do a quick look-see, actually, see if that's the case. I want to say he is. Oh, thank you. Forgot about these. Wife just pulled out some burritos. Thanks, babe. I'm sorry, yes, Road King is in Group B. Just seeing this now. Do apologize. So yeah, Road King because DJ, he's not going to be here. He's going to be relegated down to Group C. Group C is actually going to be a good battle here. Looking at who's in Group C. Old Bear's in here, Big Ton, and Texas Rooster. Those are only 3 Group C drivers. They're occupying 10th, 11th, and 12th. So if Texas can... Texas has a legit chance of going into Group B. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Just got to stay consistent. Yeah, so Group B is going to be Potts, Jacob, Road King, and Spoon. Like I said, DJ's not going to be here, so that's going to be a good battle for Group B to watch. Potts wants to be back up in Group A. I don't think Spoon's been in Group A. I don't think Road King's been in Group A either, since going to the 3-group system. So that's going to be very interesting. Can't wait to see that. Spoon made up about a second on Hannibal. So we have 8.5 minutes to go. Hannibal with 5.5 liters though, crossing the stripe. Question is, where is the leader? Leader's all the way up there. He's got 14. Camel's got 6.8. I think these guys may have to come in and pit for a splash of fuel. They're doing about 2 liters a lap. Don't think it's going to happen. I think Wolfface are going to walk away with this, actually. Wow. Let's go back down and watching Spoon. Let's see if he can't close the gap. Looks like he already is. I think Hannibal's trying to fuel save. Spoon is going to have enough. Camel flashed the lights. And that's Jacob. No, that's not Jacob. Who is that? I'm trying to find who that is. It's a Potts. Spoon? Oh, it's one space. Oh, it's not. Who the heck is that? Is that Road King? We're gonna find. There it is, Old Bear. Jesus. Do apologize for that. If I'm Hannibal, I'd come in now, just splash, finish off, and hope and pray that Spoon has a big mistake as Hannibal just chops the head off that corner. Six minutes to go. Your leader is that red dot at the bottom of the track map, the bottom left of the track map. At least I believe so. Yes, that is correct. Spoon slowly catching up. Coming up on less than 3.5 minutes to go, Hannibal decided to go ahead and head into the pits. Did not have enough fuel to make it to the end, unfortunately. That's going to pretty much give the spot to Spoon. Question is, how is everyone else looking? One space, he's going to be close. Will Phaser, he can actually just coast the rest of the way. He can take it really easy. Camel has to hope that he takes it easy, or else he's going to have to come in and pit. Because he's taking it really easy. So let's follow around Will Phaser, who is going to have enough fuel. Camel really slowing down. Coming up on the white flag, Camel's got to come in and pit. He's not going to be able to make it, neither is J-Mutt. Unless the J-Mutt plays the strats and slows down and lets him get lapped by Will Phaser. He could potentially get a jump on Camel. That's a strategy, that's for sure. But for one space, it's 1 lap to go. He's going to be able to finish no problem. Wow, what a dominating performance from Will Phaser. Going through this tight chicane for the last time. Where is Camel at? Oh, Camel is coasting now. Camel is coasting. He's trying to make it to the end. That's gonna... J-Mutt's gonna have to do the same thing. Here comes Will Phaser rounding the last corner. Onto the main straightaway. What a dominating performance from Will Phaser here in the opening round of Season 30 in these Cater MDs. Will Phaser is going to be your winner here at Imola in dominating fashion. Here's the thing is J-Mutt has about the same amount of fuel as Camel, but they're in different positions of the track. Camel really trying to limp his way around. Potts having to go in and pit. I don't know why. That's going to put Jacob up in 7th. Every position is key for the battle in Group B. That's going to be very, very interesting. Oh my goodness. Half a liter left. He's almost home. J-Mutt has even longer. He's got the clutch in and everything, just coasting around as much as he can in 5th gear. These are the slowest laps ever recorded. Is Jake? No, Jacob already. Jacob has already finished. I was gonna say, is Jacob doing the same thing? And now Camel's gonna be able to put the power on for the final leg of the race, and he's gonna cross with an empty tank. He's gonna pull right off to the side. Can J-Mutt do the same? I mean, he's gonna be rewarded with a P3 nonetheless, but there it goes. Can he coast across the finish line? I think he can. He's close. Actually going to come up shy before the game can cut him off. And he does it. He crosses the line just in time before the game cuts him off. There you have it. There's the final standings. Will Phaser dominating fashion. Had enough fuel to make it to the end. Plenty of fuel, actually. Camel in second. J-Mutt in third. That's going to be your podium. One space getting fourth. Recovering from that early incident. Spoon in fifth, disrupting the Group A top five. Hannibal in sixth. Jacob in seventh. Road King in eighth. Potts in ninth. Tight battle for Group B. It's going to be a lot of fun to see that happening. Also the battle with Group C down here with Old Bear, Texas, and Big Ton for sure. But let's go ahead and grab Camel and J-Mutt up into the chat. A lot of people running out of gas there. All right, so Mr. J-Mutt 76 getting a podium here in the Caterham Sevens here tonight. Saw you and Camel having to coast your way to the finish line. Was the fuel amount a little bit tough to work with, or was it a little bit of calculation error on your part?
I don't know. I mean, I think we both took the required fuel each pit on each pit stop, and I don't know. Just I don't know if the amount of oil spin that we had coming off the turns just burnt up the fuel or what. So I mean, it just got close at the end. Wasn't even thinking about it until Camel had mentioned something that he was slowing down to try to conserve some fuel, and I looked down and I was about to be about a lap and a half short. And yeah, I mean, just cutting the engine off and coasting, trying to make it to the end, and come off that last corner and had I think 0.2 left in the tank, and ran out about probably 1,500 feet from the lawn, and just managed to barely coast across. So yeah, it was interesting. I don't think we were expecting the fuel to be quite that close, but made it to the finish. At least I did. But yeah, overall it was a good race. Just couldn't quite keep up with Will. I mean, he had that thing on the rails tonight. So congrats to him, and we'll go get him next week.
Yes, indeed. Very tough but fun race. And yeah, just unable to keep up with lightning fast Will Phaser up top. But still third place. It's important here in this Group A battle. It's going to be very tight for all the groups here this season, so it's going to be really fun to watch all that. But nonetheless, congrats on your podium finish tonight. Moving up to Camel, finishing second place. Just, again, barely coasting over the finish line. How was fuel? I'm going to ask the same question to J-Mutt. Was there some type of error in your calculations, or like the way that you applied your throttle, or what happened?
Well, when we did the fuel test Friday, the fuel looked fine. It looked like we were going to be enough to maybe do an extra lap and a half, no problem. then because I estimated the race to be right at 42 laps. We should have been getting about 44 laps on 3 tanks. And then today in practice, you know, I thought, well, maybe something was wrong because we were getting so much better fuel mileage in practice. So I thought, well, I'm going to be able to, you know, run the crap out of the car, and so I was going down a gear to get better acceleration, so on and so forth. I'm sure like Jay Mutt and everybody else was, because I told everybody before the race, Friday, fuel looks, like we were going to be really close. And then I told everybody, I said, from what we're looking at, it looks like we should be fine on fuel. And sure enough, I mean, if you saw me and Jay Mutt there the last lap, I was holding the clutch in for 2 laps. So I don't know that was just kind of weird. Normally if we're going to be close, I'll tell people. I tell everybody. I say, watch your boost, watch what you do with your gearing. But I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't have an answer.
Yeah, definitely a head scratcher for that. Wolfhazer was able to finish with at least like 5 liters left coming across the line, so he must have done some incredible fuel saving or something.
I think he's on a controller running automatic, so I'm sure that helped some. But yeah, I mean, I know one space. I'm pretty sure I heard his say he was low on fuel too. So look, sounds like in Potts, he said he had to pit for fuel. He was like 2 laps behind. So I don't know. I took 27 both times. Did you, Mutt?
Yeah,
yeah,
sure
I did. Yeah, I did too. So, I don't know, man. That's kind of a head scratcher. But yeah, what I normally do is I figure out how much the car uses per lap. I figure out the race. I break the race into thirds because we always do 2 pit stops. I figure the fuel to make whatever that third is plus 10%. The 10% is always there to give people leeway with, if you're running a car with boost, or maybe somebody wants to run a higher gear, or it gives them a little bit of leeway. But yeah, so yeah, I'm scratching my head myself when I looked up and started doing the math with about 11 minutes ago. I thought, man, I'm 2 liters short here. So I was surprised. I don't know. But Will had a great race. He had a fast car. In the beginning, me and Mutt both were able to kind of hold pace with him. But it seemed like once the sun come up, I couldn't gain on him. I couldn't do anything, no matter what I was doing. So, something with the handling, he had the handling down. You can't do a whole lot with the gears. So, he did a great job. Let's hope that we'll see next week if he's still got that advantage. I hope not, because that wasn't a race at all. He left us.
Yeah, he straight up left you guys in the dust. That was absolutely just insane driving from him, just like how clean it was. But speaking of next week, where are we going next week?
Daytona Road Course is the first race. That one will be for 40 minutes. And the second race is at Donington Short for an hour.
Both really fun tracks to drive at, and I'm really looking forward to Donington in these cars. That's going to be an absolute blast. Seeing these
Donington
cars
will be a reverser grid as well. So.
Yes, seeing these cars rip around Imola. It's going to be just exciting to see them rip around in Donington as well. But congrats to our podium sitters, Wolfhazer, Camel, and J-Mutt in that order. We will see you Monday night for Camel's F1 League, where we're going to China, I believe, for the Chinese Grand Prix.
It should be Bahrain.
Bahrain, yes, Bahrain for the Bahrainian Grand Prix. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Night racing is always fun, especially in Formula One. But I've been William the Zebra Alcala signing off, and we'll see you Monday night. Good night.